Hello everybody, I'm Trudy from One Grounded Angel, and this is your weekly angel card reading for the week of May the 2nd to the 6th, 2016. I want to say before I start reading the cards, thank you so much to everybody who's been watching my videos and supporting me. I really appreciate your support. So let's start with May 2nd, Monday, and see what's going to come through for us. Fairness. We've had this one quite recently. If you're involved in a situation of conflict or where you're dealing perhaps with authorities and you're having to really fight to have your rights recognised or something that's owed to you, this is really reassuring you that that's going to work out in your favour, and to just try and be patient and not to freak out about it too much. It's also just for anyone who's dealing with any sort of conflict, and they feel like they're just not being... There's a lack of fairness is essentially what's going on here, and the angels are saying that it is going to work out all right. So don't give up and make sure that you fight fair as well if you want to be treated fairly. So Tuesday the 3rd. She got 2. This doesn't happen very often. I'll start with this one here, the God box. The God box is like a kind of metaphor for when you're worried about things and you're really stressed out. What you can do is this exercise where you imagine angels in front of you, or whatever deity you want to imagine, in front of you holding a box, and you one by one put each of your problems into that box. And then it's like an offload situation really, and then you visualize them taking that up to heaven and dealing with them so that you don't have to worry about them anymore and you can just relax. And particularly if you can't sleep because your mind's whirring with concerns. So that's one practical way to help. Another thing you can do along the same lines is to write down what's troubling you. The act of writing does help us get clarity, or at least to feel a sense of peace, even though it might not seem like it's actually solving the problem. And research backs that up. So obviously some people are very stressed out, but they also want this one, vacuum away fear. I mean, these are pretty closely aligned. Vacuum away fear talks about, well, obviously it's when you're worried, but sometimes the things that we're worried about, we don't recognise that they are a result of fears. So try and give you an example. If you're worried about a work situation and you're worried that you haven't got enough time, if you kind of delve down into that, there's probably a fear underplaying that, something like you're worried that you're not good enough at your job and that you won't get your work done, which will prove that, and you'll be exposed as, I don't know, inadequate or whatever it is. So sometimes when we're worried about things, drilling down to the deeper fear can really help us manage them a bit better. But this is actually really about wanting you to try and get rid of those fears. Well, you can never get rid of fears completely, but to try and manage those fears, they're not weighing you down. I'm seeing a whole lot of really dense energy around people at the moment, and it's quite layered. So a lot of concentrated stresses really weighing people down, and the angel's job is to help us find peace. So this is a really good way to do that. If you go onto YouTube, which you're on right now, you can actually find meditations that help you vacuum away fear. The reason that vacuum is used as a metaphor is because I think, well, this is my theory anyway, and I'm certainly no expert, but I think it's because when you think about how fear affects us, it really sucks all the energy and your zest for life away. So we really want to vacuum that away so that we can have that clear space to breathe and to express ourselves and, you know, get love flowing and all that good stuff. So Archangel Michael is the one you want to ask for help with this. He's a good one for, I call on him when I need courage and strength, and you can ask him for help to lift away your fears. But meditations are actually a really good way to do that. Writing can also help, as I just mentioned, but just trying to get some perspective as well can be really helpful. And if you're really worried about something, I also recommend going outside if you can, being in fresh air, being around nature, things that are living is really, really good for us, which is actually a good rule of thumb anyway, isn't it? Now Wednesday, take time for yourself. So this is very good. Well, it's good if you are worried at the moment or really stressed out. You've got a lot on your plate, but it's just a good general rule of thumb anyway. We don't do that too well, do we, as human beings? We don't look after ourselves enough. So relaxation, massage, pamper, whatever you can do. Take yourself to the movies, anything like that, just to really take some time out. Sometimes we delay that because we say we're too busy, but you can never find time to relax. You have to make time, and that's a really important thing to do. That's not an indulgence, that's a necessity. You've got to do that, and if you don't, your life's all out of balance, and then you're not going to be efficient anyway at the things that you've got to do. So stop making excuses not to do it, because there are 1,000 reasons not to, and look at the one very good reason that you should take time for yourself, and that's that you deserve it and you need it. Also, it's not selfish. I know a lot of mums really struggle with that because they're so busy, but they think it's selfish to go and do something for themselves. But actually, it's not. It's really self-nurturing, and the more the love that you give to yourself, the more you've got to give back. If you're not happy and looking after yourself, you're not doing a very good job either. So you're not letting your kids down if you go and take some time out for yourself. Anyway, while I was talking, I just shuffled Thursday, multitasking, and this one's just popped out, freedom. This is really talking about people coming to the end of a time of a long-reaching kind of stress or drama that's been playing out in your life. Something that's been going on since last year, they're saying, for some of you, is coming to an end, and there's going to be some relief from that, which is pretty welcome. But they're also wanting me to explain to you the ways that you can set yourself free. Sometimes we don't realise that we're our own captors, and I know I'm guilty of this. I feel that I've got so much to do and I'm so busy, and it's because of my approach to what I'm doing has created the situation. My lack of boundaries with other people can be an issue there. Sometimes we've overcommitted, all sorts of things. So looking for the way out of the situation and setting yourself free. I know that sounds really vague, but it's such a big topic, and it's going to impact on you in so many different, have an impact on you in a lot of different ways. So if you need more clarity around that in regards to your own personal situation, please get in touch with me. So Friday, the 6th of May, be brave. Well, we've got a really strong theme here about strength and courage. So there's not a lot more I can really tell you about that because it's pretty straightforward, but it's really just about the angels wanting to lift you up so that you can have the courage to go through what you're going through, and to really to set yourself free, obviously, but also to they're wanting me to remind you that you have everything you need. You have the strength. You're never given any situation that you don't have the ability to deal with. Sometimes you just don't know how strong you are, and that's why we go for these challenges, so we can learn what we're capable of. You can always ask the angels for help if you feel like you're failing, or you feel like you're drowning in whatever's going on for you. The angels cannot intervene in your life and help you without your permission, so you need to ask them, otherwise they'd be overstepping your free will. So Archangel Michael, as I explained earlier, is associated with strength and courage, so he's a good one to ask if you need help just facing what you're dealing with. Even if you don't necessarily know how you're going to deal with it, just asking for the courage and strength can be enough. And once you feel that empowered, you'll be able to find those solutions. So looking back over the week, actually, because we've got a double card for Tuesday, that hardly ever happens. But I think it really highlights how much is going on for people at the moment. It just seems like everybody's freaking out and has got a lot in terms of their schedules. Their schedules are really packed, and people are just really flat out at the moment and worried about a lot of stuff, and the angels of course want to help us with that, and that's what they're there to do. So we started with dealing with situations where you need to be treated fairly and wanting to reassure you that everything will work out, and we've got this strategy, the God box, for dealing with our worries and getting some time out from them, and vacuuming away fears that are underlying what you're going through. No, wrong order. Take time for yourself, and especially if there's a lot of stuff going on for you, that's even more important to take some time out. It's not going to solve your problems, but it will give you it will renew your spirit enough that you can, and that will give you more strength to deal with it as well. And just to look after yourself. You're in charge of looking after yourself. That is your job. You need to do that. Freedom from your worries and your dramas, but the freedom comes from you making good choices around that as well. Don't forget, it's not just a magical solution that's going to happen. And try to remember, or maybe try and look at your situation and say, how am I keeping myself trapped here? Be brave. Pretty straightforward. Courage is really strong here. Don't forget, you've got the angels, your angel squad, to help you. Now, I am on social media each day posting these cards, and they will give you more detail as well. Also, I find if you're watching this early in the week, you will have forgotten by the end of the week what's going to come up. So my Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is called One Grounded Angel. Don't forget to get in touch with me if you want help with anything. I do charge for full readings, but I'm happy to give snippets of advice, especially in regards to the particular card that's come up for that day. Thank you so much for watching again. Have a fantastic week, and I will chat to you next week. Bye.